just throwing everything around now, too.
He almost lost a page.
You what?
You
Almost lost the page? I did. Does anyone need another outline? And I have a box to fill in today, too. That's my visual will be good. Anyway, with that, while I'm thinking about it as well, with that, you know, we're continuing our series about shape. And so I also have actually an assessment tool if you want to take and use as we focus on who we are and personality. So, but a little science lesson a little bit. In biology class, Sonia and the rest of the family are reviewing about DNA. Yes, about DNA. And, you know, we often talk about us being unique, but our DNA is what makes us that way. The DNA molecule determines your inherited qualities. Mathematicians estimate that the DNA molecule can theoretically unite into an infinite number of ways. DNA can unite in 10 with 2,400,000,000 zeros behind it. I was going to put that up on the screen, but I couldn't fit it not only in a line, but I couldn't fit it on the whole screen. Okay? With that. And to show you how long a shot that it would be that you would have somebody the same, by the way, to grasp the enormity of this, if you would write it out, if each zero, all right, if each zero were 1 inch wide, you would need a strip of paper 37,000 miles long. Scientists say that all the particles in the universe are probably less than 10 with 76 zeros behind it, by the way. So when we say that you are unique, that's just not a theological statement, it's a scientific fact of life. And when God made you, He broke the mold. Now, some people look at me and they said, boy, we're glad God broke the mold. See, He doesn't make any copies. There never has been and there will be anybody just like you. That's the way it is. In our series, Get in Shape, we've been looking at the verse from Job chapter 10, verse 8, God's hand formed and shaped me. He made you for a purpose. There's a reason, and we're talking about 5 different aspects of the shape. S stands for what, remember? Oh boy, we got to go back to S. S is spiritual gifts. H, heart. A, abilities. P, that's today, is personality. And E is experiences. They all combine to shape us and make us unique. We're going to focus on that aspect of personality. So, none of you out here, even though some of you might say, I have no personality. You do. Okay? You are unique and you have that personality aspect. And like I said, when I got interested in personality, when through my premarital counseling, the pastor forced me to sit through 188 questions. And I thought was the most ridiculous waste of my time. Most ridiculous waste of my time, because I mean, I live with myself. I know who I am, right? I know that. But I was amazed at how precise it could be and how it pointed out how I really was. And even some more things that I didn't even realize about myself. So what is personality? Personality refers to the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act. You know, part of your personality comes from hereditary factors. You inherit it. Part of it comes from the environment. Those things that influence you. Part of it's your choice. Your personality is partially inborn, but it's also partially learned as well. You see, each of us are a complex combination of many, many different traits. Scientists say that up to 18,000 different character traits have been identified, and you are a combination of those. We're very, very complex. So complex, think about this, that sometimes we're even a mystery to ourselves. Have you ever said to yourself, what in the world am I doing? Why did I do that? I don't even understand that. Your personality influences far more than you realize. You know, years ago, I was reading here and somebody was talking about watching the old Geraldo show. Remember good old Geraldo? Then they said, you know, he had a guest who had 79 different personalities. And the guy says, I thought that was wild because I work with people who don't even have one. Your personality influences every area of your life. It influences every decision you make, how you deal with change or don't deal with it, how you solve problems, what makes you happy or sad, what you think is funny and what you don't think is funny. Okay? I find that funny just saying that phrase. You're going, he's crazy. And it says a lot about the kind of work you should be in, the kind of person you should marry, the kind of ministry God wants you to have serving Him. Every area. Your personality influences how you relate to God. You're just different. Okay? Now, I hear that a lot growing up. That boy's just different. Okay? But I'm telling you, we're all just different. And the number one way your personality shows up is how you relate to people. Okay? And I want us to look at understanding why others misunderstand us. 1 Corinthians 12 says God works through different people in different ways. And that's obvious because God loves variety. Every one of us thinks differently, feels differently, reacts differently, responds to life differently. We can both be involved in the same circumstance, and your response will be different than mine. It's just the way it is. We're just different in every area of our lives because of your personality and these factors God has put in you. You are unique. Can I say that one more time? How many times I say unique? You just keep you going with that. And that causes people to misunderstand you, and it causes you to misunderstand others. You ever have a misunderstanding or an argument with anybody, have you? And there's no right or wrong temperament. Okay? That's a fill in the blank on your things since we're screenless today. There's no right or wrong temperament. There's no right personality in God's book or wrong personality. God has given you the personality you have, and He did it for a purpose. He did it intentionally. And there are lots of ways you could classify personality. You get books all over on this. Scientists and psychologists have been trying to do it for years. There's the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory. Yeah, the MMPI for short. There's the Myers-Briggs Survey, which I like, and the one Karen and I did. There's the Taylor-Johnson Temperament Analysis. There are many different ways, and all these ways are helpful, but they're all limited because you are unique. Now, just out of curiosity, how many of you have ever taken a personality profile? I don't want to say it's a test, okay? All right? So we have a general idea. But 2,000 years ago, a guy named Hippocrates thought it up. And he classifies everybody in 4 different categories: sanguine, caloric, phlegmatic, and melancholy. Okay? Well, I have to tell you, as I've done this over the years, I've decided I don't like those 4 classifications. Okay? So if you have your notes there with you, you're going to find in your box, you're going to see that we've put the natural blends, or the 4 types that you can be here with that. And so when I look at these, I focus these on the leader or / the lion. I do the animals when I particularly talk about family. Jim Bronner has a great book called, it's old, I'm going to tell you it's old, but it's a great book on personalities and the family. He used the term lion for this. The second area is the expressor, or what we call the otter. You think about what you know about lions, what you know about otters. The third is analyst, or the beaver. Okay? Think about what you know about a beaver. You get that visual in your head. And then there's the dependable, or what he calls the golden retriever. So of those, you're all going, I'd like to be the golden retriever. Most of you probably, because that's just the friendliest one. No, I didn't say you were. You don't want to be the golden retriever. Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. So those are the four that we're going to take a look at. So let's first of all take a look at the leader aspect. Okay? And it's important for you to realize that the desire or the emphasis or focus for those with the L, by the way, if you go L-E-A-D, that spells lead, the leadership aspect of that, leader, expressor, analyst, dependable, with that, or the animals with that. But a leader or a lion wants to shape their environment by overcoming opposition to accomplish results. Okay? How many of you like a good challenge? There's just two of us in the room? Wow. You just got to love a good challenge, right? Something to solve with that. But that's that emphasis. They tend to desire authority. They like challenges. Yeah, I'm going to try to go slow. Yeah, I don't know how you're going to get these all in. I just have to print off these. I got nice little things that I do this one. But they like authority, challenges. They like freedom, to do the task. I love the person who comes up and says, okay, Mark, I need you to do this, and this is how you're to do it. Then I'll say, could you have my wife do that? Because I prefer you just to say, this is what I need done. Here's the start point, that's the end point, and let me go. Have I told you what my personality type is? All right? They like that. They love difficult assignments. They like variety. They like logical approaches. Okay? Opportunity for advancement. That's the leader, the lion. Okay, you think of the king of the jungle, roar, the lion, all those type of things. So let's take a look at some characteristics that you might see. All of them very positive, of course. The result-oriented. They want to get the job done. They are more result-oriented than they are people-oriented. Okay, so you see where that can become an issue at times. With that reminds me of a story, but I don't have time to tell that, but ask my wife about my first leadership meeting in my first full-time ministry for the education ministry. Two different viewpoints we had of that meeting. I thought it went great. She thought I owed an apology. We question the status quo. Leaders, lions, question the status quo. Why do we do that? We tend to be pragmatic, independent, problem solvers, critical thinkers. That's why I drove all the teachers nuts when I'd say to the teachers when I came in, what are you doing to help my child think critically? I think that's very important. They are very determined. They are persistent. Okay? They have endless ideas. Believe it or not, a leader is opinionated. Opinionated. Imagine that. You know some lions in your life? They manage trouble. They are confident and they are stable with that. Okay? We're not going to look at the bad things, okay? We're just going to. But there are some obvious issues that I pointed out. It's easy when you're result-oriented to go with the task as opposed with worry about any people issues. That's the biggest issue for those that are leaders, lions.